The Deshaun Watson sweepstakes continue, and there are a bunch of teams in the fold for his services. A guy who, when he's on the field and playing, one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, and in 2020 threw for almost 5,000 yards. And really the sweepstakes come down to a lot of teams in the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons, the New Orleans Saints, Carolina Panthers, but also a team in the AFC North in the Cleveland Browns. And according to various reports out there, all of these teams have made formal offers to the Houston Texans in a trade that would bring Deshaun Watson to the respective franchise. And when that happens, immediately, that team, whether it's in the AFC or the NFC, would vault to the top of the NFC odds because Deshaun Watson is a very, very special player. In 2020, last time he played, because last year he didn't play because of these legal issues, and the legal issues are cleared, completed 70% of his passes, nearly 5,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks, QBR of 70.5. Now, Tom, it's my opinion that I think he's the third best quarterback in the NFL behind Mahomes and Josh Allen. You're more so in that 5 to 8 range, but break down the player and what a team would be getting, including the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, whether you rank him 3 like you do, 5 to 8, 9, 10 if you want to go that deep, he's awesome. This is a franchise caliber QB. When you add Deshaun Watson to your organization, as long as you trust the off-field stuff won't reappear, and as long as you trust that he's going to not want to be traded like he did in Houston, this, in theory, is your QB for the next 10-plus years. And now, all of a sudden, you've locked up the most important position. So whatever team you're a fan of there, in this case the Falcons, yeah, your roster needs a lot of help beyond that, but you've got the most important position set and ready to go. You can figure out the rest after that. It is a lot easier to find a good receiver, good offensive lineman, good D lineman, than it is to find a top 10 QB. These guys, in general, aren't available, and if they are available, it costs a lot to go get them, and there's a bidding war just like there is right now for Deshaun Watson.
Now, who will trade for Deshaun Watson? Will it be your Atlanta Falcons? Will it be another NFC South rivalry team in the Carolina Panthers? Maybe the New Orleans Saints, the Cleveland Browns. There's also some chatter from Jim Trotter of NFL Network about mutual interest between Watson's camp and the San Francisco 49ers. But give us a team in the comment section where you think Deshaun Watson will go next. Now, of course, Deshaun Watson will have implications if he goes to Atlanta on Matt Ryan. And some really interesting developments on that front from Chris Mortensen as well as Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter taking to Twitter just moments ago as we're really reacting to all of this live. Adam Schefter said, as Chris Mortensen reported, the Falcons informed quarterback Matt Ryan last weekend that they were pursuing Deshaun Watson. The lines of communication have been kept open between Ryan and the Falcons. And Ryan is a longtime franchise icon for Atlanta. He won the NFL MVP a couple of years ago, helping lead them to that Super Bowl loss to the New England Patriots. We know about 28-3. That was bad, but what's been good? Matt Ryan for a really long time. He's been a face of a franchise. He's been a pillar of this team and really a stand-up dude. And if the Atlanta Falcons do go the Deshaun Watson route, they're going to clear off a monster salary off their salary cap in Matt Ryan, and other teams are going to be interested, like the Indianapolis Colts, a team that's ready to win right now. Maybe even the Seattle Seahawks, a team that moved on from Russell Wilson. I have some concerns about his arm talent, but he can make up for that with his overall football IQ. And last year, surrounded by some about par level wide receivers, still completed about 67% of his passes for nearly 4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 12 picks in the first year for Arthur Smith.
You know, the interesting situation for Matt Ryan is he's one of those, I call him like the Rivers category of QB. Like the arm, or maybe the Breeze is a better example of it. The arm does start to go, but because he's so advanced when it comes to identifying blitzes, identifying what the scheme is going to be, it allows him to have success. There are two ways to get the ball to where it needs to go. Quickly via arm strength, or because you know that's where it's got to go early, and you throw it with such good anticipation that it kind of bails it out. Ryan's numbers weren't great last year. You obviously didn't have Calvin Ridley for much of the year. Now he's suspended for an entire season. You lost Russell Gage. The Falcons' receiving talent overall is not in an ideal situation. We can come back to that later on. But if they do shop Matt Ryan, which is the likely outcome in the event that they acquire, not the likely, it is the outcome in the event they trade for Deshaun Watson, They have not restructured his deal officially. That was reported they were going to, has not been finalized at this point, and that gives them the flexibility to move on from Matt Ryan for a team like the Browns would be a great destination. The Colts would be a great fit. There would be a lot of interest in Matt Ryan if the Falcons upgrade at QB for a top 15-ish, bordering on top 10 QB still, even at his advanced age.
Yeah, and as far as Deshaun Watson's contract goes, before the fallout with Houston and all of those legal issues arose, he did sign a 4-year, $156 million contract. So on an average annual value basis, this upcoming year, base salary of $35 million with a cap hit of $40. Next year, base salary goes down to $20 million, but the cap hit goes up to $42+ million. There's a potential out in 2024, and then in 2024, $32 million base salary, followed by that same figure in 2025 as well. So that's the latest on Deshaun Watson's contract, but where do you think Matt Ryan will end up? Will he go back to Atlanta? If they bring in Deshaun Watson, obviously he'll go elsewhere. Look into your crystal ball and let us know right now. And while you're down there in the comment section, we are a grand total of 2 people away from 5,000 subscribers on Atlanta Falcons today. Producer Coop been doing a good job of building this channel up, as well as Thomas Mott, who's on radio in Atlanta, by the way. So if you want to stay in the know with the best Falcons news and rumors, go to youtube.com/FalconsTV, or if you're watching us on Falcons Today, just hit that red subscribe button down below. As for the Falcons' needs in free agency, haven't really made any big splashes. They lost Russell Gage. We'll see what remaining moves they make. As for team needs, wide receiver, edge, linebacker, offensive tackle, running back, they need to build up this roster. And if Watson goes to another team in the NFC South, makes that division even more competitive.
Yeah, and I'll throw this at you. When you look at all those needs that they have, and the roster I don't think is in great shape overall, you got to put together a strong package. The Texans have wanted multiple draft picks and or players. What are you offering them, Chase, if you're Atlanta, to ensure you're able to land him in a trade? Like, you've got, like, what are you moving in the end?
In terms of premier players, the Falcons don't have many of them. In terms of draft capital, they have some of that. Now, what's interesting is that Deshaun Watson grew up in Georgia. I guess according to Adam Schefter, was able to develop a relationship with him because he was a ball boy for the Falcons way back in the day. So you can talk about that being the, I guess, the connector between him as well as Deshaun Watson. But in terms of a trade, like, I don't know what you give up if you're Atlanta. And if you're Houston, is that the best package available? I don't think so.
Definitely not the best package, but you're kind of, with the no trade clause, there's some leverage there for Deshaun. Is it something along the lines of, like, you move your first this year, both your seconds this year, another first, and, like, I mean, you're not going to trade away A.J. Terrell, Kyle Pitts. Those are your best players on that side of the football.
Yeah.
Does Marlon Davidson interest Houston? Second-round pick from 2020. Might not be the same scheme fit he was there. One of your centers, you got 2 passable centers. Like, you don't have the player assets that other organizations, I think, would be able to move. Certainly not like what we saw the Denver Broncos move to Seattle. So it's that package, if it does go down, I'm very curious what it would look like.
Yeah, no doubt. And it would send a ripple effect across the entire NFL because Deshaun Watson, one of the most gifted quarterbacks that we have ever seen. A little bit of a tricky question for the audience because it really is all really dependent on if the Falcons trade for Deshaun Watson. But either way, predicted for us. How many wins for the Falcons next year in 2022? Get your prediction in the comment section right now.